Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
A man is dead after crashing his motorcycle into an SUV.
The Nebraska Heartbeat Act meets roadblocks in the legislature.
But first, highlights from the mayoral debate.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Macy Neumeister.
And I'm Jacqueline Lovesey. Our top story today, the 2023 Lincoln City general election is Tuesday, May 2nd.
Incumbent Larion Gaylor-Baird and Suzanne Geist are running in the May 2nd nonpartisan general election for mayor of Lincoln. They advanced to the general election after being the two top vote getters in the nonpartisan primary on April 4th. Early voting is open.
The mayoral candidates were center stage Sunday. Their debate at the College of Journalism and Mass Communications on UNL's campus was covered a wide range of issues. Channel 8's KLKN Rod Fowler moderated the debate. One topic discussed was the hiring of police officers throughout Lincoln.
And my response about hiring 100 police officers is that's how many we need. That I've not made any promises about walking in day one and hiring 100 police officers, for the record. However, it will be a continual front burner issue for me to make sure that our police officers, male and female, have all the support they need. They're working overtime. We have too few officers, and I am committed to hiring more.
I think everyone out there should continue to ask my opponent how she plans to actually achieve what she says she will do. How will she actually go out and recruit police officers in other cities herself? I don't think she understands that the job of the mayor is to be the chief executive of the city and to continue to provide a strategic direction and the support through the budget to get the job done.
Both candidates said the debate was helpful and their responses matched their promises. Again, the election is on for May 2nd. For more information, visit the Lancaster County Election Commissioner website.
Turning now to state legislator, the heartbeat bill fails to advance in the Nebraska state legislature late Thursday afternoon. The bill would have required physicians in Nebraska to check for a fetal heartbeat before performing or inducing an abortion. It would ban abortions if a fetal heartbeat is detected about 6 weeks gestation, with expectations for cases of sexual assault, incest, or medical emergencies. After a second round of debate on Thursday, it failed to advance, falling short by just one vote. Omaha Senator Marvy Rearpie had initially voted to advance the bill and introduce the amendment that would raise that cut off from 6 to 12 weeks, but chose not to vote after the amendment failed. It is not clear whether the bill will be revisited before the end of the session.
Lincoln police say a 21-year-old died this week after his motorcycle crashed into an SUV. The rider, Braden Tim, was traveling south on North 84th Street. That's when police say he continued through the intersection, colliding with an SUV turning left onto Holdridge Street. The motorcycle then struck the passenger side of the SUV, according to the accident report. The driver of the SUV was not injured, while the passenger has sustained minor injuries.
This month, UNL students are celebrating the 9th annual Earth Stalk to bring awareness to environmental issues.
Dozens of UNL students took their call to action straight to the Capitol. Nebraska Nightly's Marissa Lindman joins us live in studio to share why these students are speaking out.
The Center for Climate and Energy Solutions reports 33 states already have a state climate action plan, and Nebraska is not one of them. These activists gathered on the north steps of the Nebraska State Capitol last week to call for climate action. Their goal, to bring awareness to climate issues facing Nebraskans.
Ho-ho! Climate change has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho-ho! Climate change has got to go!
I'm here today because I feel that climate change is a very prevalent issue in our society, and as young people, I feel that it's really important to let our legislators know that young people care about this issue and that we're not going to back down.
It's a bipartisan issue. It's a nonpartisan issue. It affects everyone. Everyone should care about it.
Embrace Nebraska is a local group responsible for organizing last Friday's rally, and they have 5 demands for the legislature. Implement a state climate action plan, transition to regenerative agriculture, harness renewable energy potential, prioritize public transportation, and protect our water resources.
really, we want people to take action on climate change because that looks different for everybody, but this is a global effort and we have to do our part here in Nebraska.
For some students, the climate strike provides a sense of community. Sustain UNL President Rachel Summers says environmental work can be isolating, but this event reminds her people care.
To kind of be here today and see like how many people really do care and are spending their like Friday in this kind of cold weather just going out is just really amazing to see. So I want people to know that they're not alone and that there are other people that care about it.
Plan, but this bill was postponed indefinitely. The groups protesting are still waiting for a response from the legislature. Back to you, Macy and Jackie.
For more information about the university's sustainability practices, you can reach out to the Office of Sustainability. After some sunny days, today's cold and rainy atmosphere seems to be out of place. Here's meteorologist Dominic Ferrero with what sort of weather we've got coming our way. Dominic?
Well, not to worry, this cool weather is not sticking around for long. Jumping around to our May Day forecast, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, high of 63 degrees, winds north-northwest at 15 to 20 miles an hour, but typical Nebraska fashion, it's going to be pretty windy. We could see gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Now, May Day isn't the only thing we're celebrating on Monday. Looking ahead, we have a birthday here in the studio. Nebraska Nightly's own student lead, Lance Vi. His cat, Ruby, has a birthday, so join us all here in the studio and wishing Ruby a happy birthday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Happy birthday, Lance's cat. Well, coming up after the break, continued friction between Disney and Governor DeSantis surrounding developmental rights to the Florida theme parks. A closer look at how Nebraska handles their severe weather sirens, plus an update on the Missouri River flooding. More on this after the break.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more. Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Welcome back.
Let's hear from Dominic Ferrero for our 7-day outlook. Dominic, are we about to get some warm weather?
Well, right now, sitting at mostly cloudy skies here, high of 51 degrees. The chance for rain can't be eliminated the rest of the afternoon. Still a little breezy outside. So, if you're heading out tonight, an umbrella might be a bad idea. Looking ahead to tonight, mostly cloudy skies, so that chance for rain, low of 35 degrees. Sitting with winds from the north at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Still could see gusts up to 20 miles an hour. However, after a little bit of frost tomorrow morning, we're bumping right back up to 72 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Perfect start to your weekend. Winds from the west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Here is our current surface analysis. So the reason we got that big push of cold air and a little bit of rain is we've got a cold front moving across the central part of the country. High pressure systems currently moving over the Rockies. That's what's going to bring us that nice weather into tomorrow. Looking ahead at our 7-day outlook, tomorrow high of 72 degrees. Then we drop down into the lower 60s. However, by Tuesday, we're kicking right back up into the high 60s. Moving in later on into the week, high of 78 on Wednesday. Chance for some rain overnight. However, that's not going to cool us down as we get into the lower 80s on Thursday. And sitting at Friday, a high of 79, partly cloudy. Can expect some wind throughout that as well. Looking back into the bigger picture here, currently today, the Storm Prediction Center has put out an enhanced risk throughout parts of central Texas. Now what we're looking for here is dangerously sized hail and wind gusts up to 75 miles an hour associated with those storms, and some chances for thunderstorms along the East Coast. However, we're not experiencing much severe weather around here, but we're going to kick it back to the desk with Macy and Jacqueline on what to do if severe weather strikes our area.
Thank you, Dominic. With the uncertainty of the next severe weather strike in Lincoln, it is important for those of us in Tornado Alley to start checking on our tornado sirens. Nebraska Nightly's Rebecca Heckel has more on what goes into turning these sirens on.
Even though the saying goes, April showers bring May flowers, some of those showers bring deadly storms, something the National Weather Service monitors for in order to issue watches and warnings to the public.
They're looking at rotation that might be in the storm, and if the rotation is strong enough and deep enough, and if the environment that storm is in is favorable for a tornado to develop, then the meteorologist can issue the warning.
NWS issues the warnings, but they aren't the ones that turn on the tornado sirens should one touch the ground. That job is for Lancaster County Emergency Management, the organization in charge of crisis mitigation when disaster strikes.
Each of the 5 zones has a different radio frequency, a different tone. So if the Weather Service issues a tornado warning for any part of Lancaster County, I have the ability to activate the sirens in the affected area. Again, is giving that notice or hopefully reminding people what they already know.
Emergency Management operates 103 sirens categorized into 5 different zones in Lancaster County, and even though you want to look for the tornado once a siren is turned on, David Savers says that's the very last thing you should do.
No, if you are in an area that is in a severe weather warning, you need to seek shelter immediately.
Should you hear a siren blare, get inside away from windows or find a low-lying place to hide and cover your head if you can't get inside.
And officials want to remind everyone that these sirens, like the one that you see behind me, are outdoor alarm systems. They're only meant to alert those who are outside when severe weather strikes and may not be heard by people that are in their homes. To ensure your safety and get the most up-to-date information on severe weather, check your local media stations and pay attention to the emergency alerts on your phone. Rebecca Heckel, Nebraska Nightly.
If you have any questions or concerns about severe weather or a siren near you, you can contact Emergency Management 24/7 at 402-441-7441.
And though we're not experiencing severe weather, Iowa is about to be flooded by an overflowing Mississippi River. At least 10 counties could be impacted by the river's seasonal spring floodings. It happens when snow across the upper Midwest melts. This winter, several cities saw a record or near record of snowfall that could add large amounts of water to the river. In McGregor, Iowa, the Mississippi River is forecast to crest at 24 feet on Saturday. That would be the second highest on record. In Dubuque, the river is expected to crest at 23 feet, and at Rock Island, it is expected to crest at 21 feet. This would flood several riverside streets and parks.
Flooding like this has not been seen here in Nebraska since the flooding in March 2019. Walt Disney Parks and Resorts is suing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the board and he appointed to oversee Disney's special taxing district. Disney says the Florida Republican weaponized his political power to punish the company for exercising its free speech rights. The federal lawsuit was filed minutes after DeSantis' board voted to reverse an agreement between Disney and the previous board in February, just before that board's final thoughts. It's the latest escalation in the fight between DeSantis and Disney. For half a century, Disney has had control over the land around its Central Florida theme parks. DeSantis moved to take away that power after Disney's former CEO criticized a bill DeSantis signed banning discussion about sexual orientation and gender identity in certain elementary schools. Before DeSantis handpicked site oversight board official took control from Disney, the old board passed measures rendering the new board mostly powerless.
And after the break, a closer look at Husker sports.
Updates on the Husker women's softball season.
The volleyball team could possibly break international attendance records.
And highlights following the Husker win at last week's red and white game.
All this and more coming up.
The need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Toilets can use 5 to 7 gallons per flush, making it the main source of water use in a home. You can lose more than 20 gallons of water a day from a single drippy faucet. Kitchen faucets use about 1.5 to 2 gallons per minute, whereas older faucets use more water. Wasting water is wasting time. Stop water waste now.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Jackie, it seems like we're fully launched into the spring season for sports. We're going to toss it over to Trey Marler, who has more on all the things Husker sports.
Thanks, Macy. Big breaking news out of the Nebraska football locker room this morning. Casey Thompson entered the transfer portal. And the former Texas and Husker standout is last season completing 63% of his passes for 2,407 yards and 17 passing touchdowns, while also rushing for 5 scores. Thompson's 2,407 passing yards ranked 7th on the all-time Nebraska charts. The graduate is set to be eligible immediately. The departure of Thompson opens up the door for new transfer Jeff Sims as the Huskers took the field for the final time of spring camp in front of a nearly sold-out Memorial Stadium. New quarterback, no problem, as Jeff Sims connects with Nate Borkacher up the seam that led to a white team field goal. More from the white team. This time it's Heinrich Harburg connecting with Billy Camp for the 2-point conversion. This puts the white team up 14-0 after 1 quarter of play. But the scoring doesn't stop there, as this time it's Jeff Sims taking himself right into your living room. The score is now 21-0 white squad. But don't cut out the red team just yet, as Elijah Judy forces the strip sack and is picked up by Michael Booker III, and he takes it the distance. But it wasn't enough, as the white squad wins it by the score of 21-7.
They've gotten better and better and better. They like to play football, even down to the very end. You know, trying to go down and score, giving Chubba those reps. No one's looking at me. No one's complaining. They like to compete. I think this summer is so crucial to our team. The ability to focus for 3 hours. You know, we saw some lulls in there with the ball on the ground and all that, and that's really the next step when you have the ability to focus for 3.5 hours straight. But I like the progress we've made so far. So with that, I'll see what you guys have.
Now, football won't be the only thing played at Memorial Stadium this fall. The Nebraska volleyball team is set to square off with UNO inside of Memorial Stadium on August 30th. And tickets officially went on sale for the big matchup last Wednesday. And, well, Husker Nation delivered as Nebraska Athletic reports the big game is officially sold out. And yes, you heard that right. More than 80,000 tickets sold in under 48 hours as Husker Nation look to cement themselves into attendance history, as well as the current women's attendance world record that's currently set at 91,553. From Memorial Stadium to Bowlin Stadium as the Huskers look to pick up a series victory over the Wisconsin Badgers. And it was a beautiful afternoon, and it was all Huskers early as Caitlin Neal rips this one to left center that placed Elena Felix and Sydney Gray. But back come the Badgers as Molly Schossler grounds this one to the right that brings home Katie Kettler to cut the Husker lead in half at 2-1. But it wasn't enough as the Huskers hang on and pick up the series victory, winning by the score of 2-1. Nebraska Nightly's Nathan Hawkins had a chance to catch up with the team ahead of their big matchup this weekend.
It's the final stretch of the regular season for softball, but inside the fences of Bowlin Stadium, it's business as usual. A standard midweek practice for a team that has found their stride, winning their last 3 weekend series. With consistency coming at the right time for the Huskers, head coach Rhonda Ravel said there is an exciting feeling surrounding this squad.
I do feel like we're putting together a nice season. I really feel like in the last 3 weeks, this team has started to really come into its own identity. And I think every year teams do that at a different rate, at a different pace, but it just feels differently. It feels differently from the locker room to the practice field to the game day atmosphere.
It's not the first time Nebraska has tasted this kind of success at this point in the season. Last year's squad won the Big Ten tournament before falling in the NCAA regionals. But this year's squad has a new look. From freshmen to transfers, fresh faces are making an impact in big moments. Junior outfielder and team captain Abby Squire spoke about the environment and mentality in the revamped locker room.
Compared to last year, we have a lot of newcomers, and just whether it be transfers or freshmen, like just the vibe on the team's a little bit different. It's so much fun. But I do think that the returners that we have are still hungry because we got a taste of last year. So yeah, we're definitely hungry for more.
Nebraska sits at 32-14 on the year, good for second in the Big Ten. And first, the Northwestern Wildcats. That's where the Huskers are headed this weekend for a 3-game series. While it's certainly a marquee matchup, Squire said at this point in the season, every game is a big one.
Anytime you get to the end of the season and, the Big Ten standings are tight like they are, each weekend has a different feel to it. So I think that's the same about this one. It's a big weekend.
While Nebraska is in prime position to take the Big Ten, that's not been the mindset of this squad. They're taking things one game in one pitch at a time.
Staying really hyper-focused and hyper-vigilant on the task in front of us, not getting caught looking around and what everybody else is doing, because all of our energy needs to be focused on next game, next pitch, really one pitch at a time as we go through the stretch here, and then, hopefully we can look up and go, wow, we just did that.
For Nebraska Nightly, I'm Nathan Hawkins.
Those ticket sales for that volleyball game are outstanding.
I don't know how it was for you, but for me, I probably had my page crash 2 or 3 times when I was trying to get my ticket.
I know. We thought it was really hard to get Taylor Swift tickets, and I think Husker Nation beat us out.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Go Big Red. Nothing like it.
Well, coming up after the break, Arbor Day weekend starts.
And the end-of-year bash hosted by Campus Nightlife.
Plus the zoo, ice cream, and bikes. Stick with us.
Need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Whether you want your weekend to be relaxed or upbeat, there's plenty to do in Lincoln.
Entertainment reporter Reed Greger has the scoop. Reed, what's going on this weekend?
Thank you, Macy and Jacqueline. We all love a musical that pulls at your heartstrings, especially with familiar favorites. This weekend, the Lead Center is hosting the tour of Jagged Little Pill. The musical follows a perfectly imperfect family based on Alanis Morissette's music. Tickets can be found on the Lead Center's website. What better way is there to spend a Saturday afternoon than zoos, ice cream, and bikes? The Outdoor Adventures Center is hosting an event where students can bike to the zoo, then bike to the UNL Dairy Store. Enjoy the day with friends, animals, and Husker ice cream. More information can be found on the UNL Events website. Campus Nightlife is hosting the End of the Year Bash to end all End of the Year Bashes. Starting at 3 tomorrow, come to East Campus for all of your carnival favorites. The bash will have inflatable games, balloon and caricature artists, photo booths, and even exotic animals. If you're a UNL student, this extravaganza is free with Event Pass. For more information, visit events.unl.edu. As celebration of Earth Month continues, the Arbor Day Foundation and Lincoln Parks and Recreation invites you to celebrate nature at Arbor Day LNK. Come to Antelope Valley Park to have some educational fun with environmentally conscious outdoor activities. You also have the opportunity to sign up to plant your very own tree. They come in limited supply, so it's first come, first serve. More information is on the Arbor Day LNK Facebook page, and that's your entertainment for the week. Back to you at the desk.
Sounds like we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see these exotic animals at this after-school bash.
Oh yeah, the bash should be fun.
The Midwest isn't known for having big names visit often or for must-see attractions, but UNL has an organization that brings fun events and interesting people to Lincoln. Lauren Ben gets an inside look at the organization doing it all.
With the help of more than 30 students and a handful of faculty members, the University Program Council is able to put on memorable events for all UNL students, faculty members, and Lincoln citizens to enjoy.
UPC is wanting to be the primary programming entity on campus to provide educational, entertaining, and diverse events for the Nebraska community.
The members of UPC get to pick out and decide who comes to our campus through a long selection process. Each event selection centers around what students might like to see.
I wanted to be able to be able to shape my own college experience and help shape other people's college experience by bringing all of these cool events to campus.
A recent event hosted by UPC featured Joanne Molinaro, also known as the Korean vegan. Students were able to come and listen to her unique life story and take pictures with her after the event.
Joanne obviously has this really huge following on TikTok and on social media, and her life story is just so unique. Being an attorney, an author, a blogger, having her own family, and then also being a cook, I feel like she really just ties in a lot of aspects.
For a chance to shape your own college experience, keep an eye out for future UPC events. Lauren Bain, Nebraska Nightly.
To learn more about UPC, you can go to involve.unl.edu.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Nebraska Nightly.
And don't you worry, we have 2 more episodes left for the semester. We'll see you next week.